Hey, I think, hi. I think this is going to be a relatively short video. This is my third time recording it, and the first couple of times, I think I just went into too much detail that was unnecessary. So when I thought about it plainly, I felt like I should speak about it plainly. I know that's maybe sounding like common sense, but sometimes I feel like there's more to the picture than sometimes what's discussed. And I like painting many pictures and I like seeing many pictures. But I'm taking a new approach. So, what I'm talking about today is the relationship between faiths. And I think the potential is there to be that all faiths are connected. But I'm only going to speak on the ones that I know about, and I'm not going to mention what they are because I feel like getting that specific might lead to things that I'm not really concerned with. But generally speaking, the most recent development from my awareness is the death and birth of Jesus Christ. And my belief is that that is our branch to salvation. But the faiths that came before, I feel, work in union with Christ's resurrection and his sacrifice. So I'll give examples. The example is that as a Christian, practicing Buddhism has greatly increased my understanding of God because it helped me become a better person, which in turn helped me understand others more, and it also helped me understand things about my past more, and it also helped me empathize more. And that led me to being able to be more Christ-like. I know the word on the street is that a lot of Christians aren't very Christ-like, and I have experienced that myself. And I've also experienced Christians telling you that any involvement or any consideration for any other faith is wrong. And like you've seen me mention in my other videos, you have to learn for yourself and you have to ask questions. One of the reasons I stopped going to church is that I saw that my questions kept building, but I was not getting any answers and I was having the same experience. And that transcended outside of the church, and I was actually one of those people. And then I learned from myself. I don't negate people who are going to church, or I don't recommend not going, but I do recommend asking questions. And I've asked people of other faiths and other denominations, different sects within my I guess division of Christianity. I've asked them all questions, and sometimes I get answers and sometimes I get confusion and redirection. And when it comes to that, after a few years you stop asking questions when you see people giving you answers that seem to be orchestrated, pre-orchestrated. So I have tried to understand where people with this logic come from, especially when they're getting things blatantly wrong, or they're blatantly avoiding answering questions, or coming up with so many excuses, or talking about translations or their own opinions and things like this. That's when it starts to fall apart within myself and my relationship with Christianity. I had that kind of breakdown, and I didn't stop my relationship with God, or I didn't stop believing. No, I didn't stop believing in Jesus being the Son of God, but I started realizing that some of man's logic seemed to be getting in the way. So from Buddhism, I started learning more about Hinduism. But Hinduism was what led me to learn more about Buddhism. And between the two, I reached a higher state of enlightenment. And it hasn't stopped. Those are just examples as to where I am now. You start to see the good in a lot more things when you do these things, because then you start to realize more things about humanity, and it doesn't become about the religion. Sometimes the religion gets a bad rap because it gets associated with what the followers do, and it gets categorized as being a religion, and it's not. It's a faith. Just because you have a huge congregation of people messing up or getting it wrong or whatever doesn't mean that that's what the faith is about. We can get into texts, we can get into interpretations, but I like to stick with fundamentals. So when I can see the statutes within something as being fundamentally good, it makes me curious. And I've learned to incorporate all that is good from the level of discernment that I'm at now, or the level of discernment that I have now. I try. Oh, that was intense. I try to learn from all of these things. And that's pretty much it. It's not wrong to talk, and it's not wrong to learn from one another. And this fly is pretty angry. So on that note, I'm going to let this fly out, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.